Hi guys, it's me, Sally. Thank you for joining me today. Regarding the relationship, today's topic that I wanted to discuss is, are you loving your partner as a cage bird? And I'll explain what I mean by this is, um, in society, obviously we love an individual and we're told that because we love the individual, we have to protect them. And mainly for men, I believe that it is told you are responsible to protect your family and protect yourself and protect your loved ones and protect this one and that one. And um, when you love a person freely, and yes, you do want to protect them, but there is an extent into what you could protect them from. It would be unfair for yourself and the person you love for you to place that heavy burden that you have to protect them from every single little circumstance or possibility or any risk that might come their way, because it's impossible for you to predict, for you to be aware, for you to even be 2 3 steps forward and see some things coming, because life is unpredictable and that's the nature of life, right? So as humans, when we're told, especially I like to say men, I have my children, my boys, and I grew up with brothers and all. I see that it is very heavily burden and placed on them, that they are responsible to provide protection for their loved ones. And when this is done to an extent that it becomes a burden, or it's done overly for the individual, um, you tend to place this heavy weight on yourself as well as the person that you're trying to protect, because you might end up pushing the person away because you're not allowing for them to be free, for them to express themselves, for them to take risks, for them to make mistakes. Because our growth happens when we do make a mistake. Our growth happen when we take a leap of faith and expose ourselves to do something. So just like a bird cage, you love this animal, you want to keep it protected and safe and admire it and love it, but you're loving it and admiring it from afar. You have it in a cage. They're unable to express themselves, to just be free, to live life, expand their wings, and just really embrace who they fully are and flourish to what it is that it could be, that life could be for them, right? And we know that you're coming from a good place, and we know that you mean well, and we know that you just want to love them, but then at the same time you're still keeping them at a distance because they're in a cage. You're not really going out and enjoying and taking adventures and having conversations and being open, because when you protect someone, you want to have a strong front, which sometimes having a strong front allows for you not to be open and share your emotions and your vulnerability and just really be authentic with that person. So what I'm asking for you is, yes, you can love your partner, you can protect your partner, but also know that there is a boundary, there is a limit of what you are capable. And it doesn't mean that you are responsible if it doesn't work out. It doesn't mean it is for you to take the blame. It doesn't mean that is for you to punish yourself, right? So love your partner, set them free, and understand that yes, life is messy and it is complicated, and you can live with that partner and you can take your own risk and you can make your own mistakes. And because you're doing that for yourself, as you're taking responsibility for the family, also allow your partner to do the same for you, because it is, bottom line, it is a way of communicating love, right? It is a method of sharing and giving, receiving love. It's an exchange. So allow this person to also protect you in a different way. And protection can be just being there to listen, just being there for you to express your emotions or your feelings, right? So just know that when in a relationship, yes, you can protect your partner, but you also can't control that is outside of you. You don't know what's going to happen when you go to the mall and here someone might show up, or maybe a distraction happen, or a situation happen. And in a perfect world, you wouldn't want to expose your partner to something that might make them feel uncomfortable, but it's not a perfect world. It's a real world. And in situations like that, it just allows for you to allow them to express how they would react in such situation. If originally, if it's a perfect world, you wouldn't plan certain things to happen the way they tend to sometimes. But understand that this person, before you got with them, the reason why you connected with them is because they are still very much a strong individual. They don't need your protection. They were rising and flourishing and strong before they met you, right? And you guys came together to lift each other up. So let's continue to do that by allowing this individual to embrace who they fully are. And part of that is making mistakes. Part of that is taking risks. Part of that is being exposed to uncomfortable situations. It doesn't mean that's what you wish upon them. It doesn't mean this is what your intention was for them. It just means that you're there with them to go through that. You're right there by their side. You're showing support. And that in itself is protecting them in a more loving, open, expansive way. Because you're there right next to them as they go through this situation, as they're okay going through a mistake, because it is part of growth. And it's more rewarding for the both of you to experience it together than separately, where one person is taking all the burden, and eventually you might feel resentment because it turns into, yes, I can do that at first, but when you're going years and years and years doing the same thing, you start beating yourself up. You start saying, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? And no one gave you this rule. You gave this rule to yourself, but because you feel so heavy, sometimes we put it on to the person that's there for us. We put it on to the person that loves us unconditionally because we know they love us. So then we open ourselves and express ourselves, but not in a very loving way. And in turn, you end up pushing that person away. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say here to you guys is love your partner. And yes, protect your partner, but also understand it is not a burden that you carry for them and yourself. It is just, if something does happen, all they want, the protection they want, is to know that you are there for them to go to. That you're not responsible to protecting them of going through situations, because situations will happen whether you're there or not. And it is an unrealistic burden to put on yourself. So forgive yourself. Switch the idea, switch the rule, set yourself free, set them free, and embrace each other, and know that that strong individual that was there on their own before you came in the picture is still there, and they very much can still tackle on the difficulties of life. And it just becomes a lot more easier knowing that you're there by their side, and that is all the protection you need to give. So I hope this comes in a moment where you can appreciate the message, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.